Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
The jury has had the Diddy case for only a matter of an hour or two, and there is already strife. And we are going to talk about what this means. But short story, the jurors sent a note to the judge already saying that juror 25 cannot follow the judge's instructions. I think I know what that means.
It certainly sounds like most of the jury, 11 jurors, agree on what they want to do here.
At least on something. We don't know.
Something. It could be just for one of the counts.
It could be for one of the counts. It could be for all of the counts.
Not for the entire case.
It's weird that a couple hours in.
That they already send a note, because that means they're not even, there's no need for them to discuss anything. Like, we know this is what we want.
Feels like this guy's a holdout.
Right, and this one person is the holdout.
And so now the question, what does this mean? The only thing I can think of is if there are 11 people on one side, and again, we're guessing this.
Who very quickly know what they want to do.
Because if there were 5, why would they single out this one if 4 others felt the same way?
Right.
So it seems like this one guy feels differently from everybody else, and the everybody else part that has tried to convince this one guy, you got to look at the jury instruction, the judge's instructions,
right.
And the juror is saying, I don't care about the judge's instructions. At least that's the way the other 11 see it.
And it's not that he doesn't understand. We don't think it's that he doesn't understand the actual instructions, because what we know of his background from the jury selection process, he's a very educated man who's got a PhD in molecular biology. So
51-year-old white guy.
I don't think there's any.
I've so resisted guessing in this case, because you'd never know.
But because it's this quick.
It just feels like to me that this guy is saying, because it's the only thing that makes sense. I don't care what the judge is saying. I am not going to find Diddy guilty on whatever the charge is, whether it's racketeering or whatever else it is, because, for example, this feels like a bedroom police prosecution. It could be something that goes, this is called in the law, if this is the case, jury nullification, where a juror says, I don't care what the judge is telling me. The right thing to do is something else. That's what it's feeling like to me.
So if you're going to guess here, it's that the 11 are saying convict him. On one of the counts.
That's what it feels like to me.
So when the note was handed to the judge explained what was going on to the prosecutors and to Diddy's defense. They all came up and had a meeting about this. What Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's co-lead attorney, said was, just tell them it's really early, Judge, and they should get back to figuring it out. If you're the defense and they send that note out this quickly,
it's bad news.
It's bad news.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
it's bad news.
Look, if the jury, if 11 people are saying one guy is just off the reservation, that can't be for acquittal. It just can't.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. There's a small chance. I tend to agree with you that a bunch of people are saying the government just didn't prove their case, and this one man is saying, I don't care, Diddy's a dangerous person, and I don't want him on the streets. That's possible as well, that he's a holdout for the prosecution. I agree it's more likely your scenario, but I could also see them saying, look, he shouldn't be on the streets, and I don't care what the hell Rico says, I'm convicting him no matter what.
And by the way, again, I want to underscore what Charles is saying, even if we're right, this could be as to one count.
Right.
It could be as to all counts.
Because there's 4 counts. And
it's just shocking to me. Look, I covered
5 counts. So.
I covered the O.J. Simpson case, and it was a 9-month trial, and the jury took 2 hours. So, this is actually a little more complicated, because in O.J. it was just, did he do it or did he not? Or was a reasonable doubt. Here, there's RICO and there's sex trafficking and there's all this other stuff. So it's more complicated. It is just weird to me that they're coming in this quickly and this apparently unified, with the exception of one guy. It's kind of stunning to me.
Allie from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I think Diddy is going to be convicted on the RICO charge, particularly because he interfered his business and his personal gains for his personal gratification, for sexual gratification. Although this jury question is a bit concerning, I don't know. Are they hung on the reasonable doubt?
Well, the thing is, we don't know what this guy is doing.
Right, we don't know which way he's
I will
leaning.
say, just because the 11 people are saying he's not following instructions doesn't mean he's going to get kicked off. I mean, the judge is going to have a huge problem on appeal if he does that.
Right.
Because then it's going to look like, the trial was rigged.
Right.
So the judge is going to be very slow to get rid of this guy. They may do some clarification, but I would be stunned if at this point, this early on,
the judge got to send them back and say, work
just
on this.
keep working on it, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we will see. We're moving on.
Yes, to the Bezos-Sanchez wedding, which is over. I think by the time it actually happened, everybody was like, all right, enough already.
Enough. Even the guests.
Well, now what has happened is some people have, from the sidelines, decided they want to sound off. And Rosie O'Donnell is the latest with a pretty scorching attack on Jeff Bezos, on Lauren Sanchez, even Oprah. So this is what she posted that photo and it said, the Bezos wedding, it turned my stomach seeing all these billionaires gathering in the gross excess of it all, the show of it, and his fake fembot wife, who looks like that. Why would he choose her after the salt of the earth Mackenzie?
Okay, that's crossing the line there. I mean,
first of all, the photo on the right is a made-up photo that has been going around on the internet. That's not her actual face, but that's beyond the point. Whatever it is she looks like now, clearly Rosie is taking issue with that. I just find it's weird that Rosie O'Donnell is making attacks on people's appearances when she had that done to her for years by Donald Trump.
right, and it was offensive.
Yeah.
Rosie wasn't the only one they came after them. Charlize Theron, she was speaking at an event over the weekend, and at one point she told the crowd, I think we might be the only people who didn't get invited to the Bezos wedding, but that's okay because they suck and we're cool. And even Katie Couric,
I feel like that one was just like a tongue-in-cheek little joke.
Yeah, but definitely a little dig there, a little dig. And then Katie Couric, too, which I don't think I've ever heard Katie Couric say anything mean, but she came for them as well, basically saying that Lauren Sanchez's dress was tacky and that it was like something from the 80s. So,
Well, no, she was not saying the dress was something.
excess.
She was saying the wedding itself was something from the 80s, meaning
Big hair and conspicuous consumption ruled back in the 80s.
conspicuous consumption.
Apparently tacky is back.
That was Wall Street with Michael Douglas. And that's what they're talking about, which is that,
Again, this is about he's super rich. Look at how they're flaunting the wealth. I think that's what they're really and that's fine. I get that people are going to have that reaction, but why turn it into personal digs? By the way, Rosie also said in her comments, she said, why is Oprah there? Does Oprah actually like Jeff Bezos? And then she went on and had more.
I will
things to
say
about him.
there was a lot of curiosity in our morning meeting today about some of the people who were invited. For example, Sydney Sweeney. What's the connection between Sydney Sweeney and
The only
Jeff
one that I
Bezos?
remember is was it the Oscars? Maybe
yeah,
it was
I think
after
it
the
was
Oscars where they were all
Oscars after
partying
party.
together.
But we've only seen them in one photo together,
Yeah.
and there's other celebrities too.
What
Like
about Kylie? What about
we,
Kendall?
We get why Kris Jenner was there, and maybe Kim, but why was Kylie there? Why was Kendall there? Why was, Leo
Chloe was there too,
DiCaprio
yeah.
there? Like, we've never seen them really hang out with Leo DiCaprio.
No, they've hung out with Leo.
Yeah, no,
before.
they've hung out with Leo.
They've hung out with
Okay,
Leo.
but,
They've hung out with
come on.
Orlando.
Who's
Your
the
close
family and
model,
friends? The SI model that was there?
Brooks Nader was there with
Brooks
her
Nader.
younger
That
sister,
one seemed
Sarah.
Strange, definitely.
Yeah, look, the criticism is that they went through a list of here's who's hot right now, and we're going to invite a lot of hot people because we want that attention on this thing. So, I mean, that's the criticism. I don't really know why some of those people are there, but they were.
But they were there.
I kind of do know why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rich people wanted to flaunt their wealth. I just don't know why everyone's clutching their pearls over this particular event when we watch every day, particularly what we do, rich people flaunting their wealth.
This was on steroids.
Agreed.
Hi, I'm Lauren from New Jersey, and what I will say, I would never attack I would have never attacked Lauren Sanchez's looks. I think that she looked beautiful, but I will say that they want to be treated like American royalty so badly, then they should have had their wedding in the US. They should have done American rich coastal, and it would have been the best PR move for them. They should have used American vendors and American small businesses, since Jeff Bezos was made a billionaire off of American infrastructure.
Or they could have gotten married in an Amazon plant. How's that?
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone over. That's definitely not where they want to do it.
Okay, we got to take a break.
All right. When we come back, an amazing story of survival. A almost 5-year-old girl falls off this Disney cruise into the ocean, and her father jumps in after her to save her. Well, this is an absolute miracle. How a nearly 5-year-old child could fall off the 4th deck of a Disney cruise, this is the ship, the Disney Dream, and survive it. And this happened on Sunday. That ship was on its way back to Florida from the Bahamas when the little girl fell overboard. Her father, who was clearly very nearby when this happened, jumped in after her.
He had to be nearby because the boat's moving.
Yeah.
And he would have not have gotten to her if there was a delay.
Exactly. So I'm sure he jumped in right as she was falling. They both survived just that fall, which is amazing, and then had to wait for the boat to stop, turn around. They sent out the rescue tender, which brought them both back to the ship safely.
I have to say that the fall, you mentioned
Yeah.
the fall itself could cause severe injury. I mean, that, hitting the water that high is sometimes like hitting cement. So it's kind of miraculous. Both of them are okay.
It's still a little unclear exactly how she got up, when it was on the railing, or how she exactly fell in. But just the fact that she is completely fine, that the dad's completely fine. I mean, treaded water, I think, for like 15, 20 minutes, Harvey, because like you said, the boat was moving still. So they had to like spot them and they sent in the little rescue boats. So he was just out in the water, treading water with his daughter.
So you got to wonder, I mean, since he clearly jumped immediately, she was in eyeshot of him.
Right.
And then you got to wonder, what was the situation where she's on the balcony? We don't know the answer to that.
Don't know, but I'm sure that's an investigation that they're running on the ship, and I'm sure if Mom was nearby, she is also running an investigation.
Well, and we don't know
what happened. Right.
It may be Mom and Dad were watching the
both
kid,
there, right?
and we don't know, or the kid just ran over or something. We don't know what happened, but it is, I got to say, it is just it is literally a miracle.
I always wonder what happens when the few times I've been on a cruise ship, I always wonder what's going on in the water. Like when you jump in, it's not like you just jumped into bath water, right? You jump in and now this ship with these giant motors are going by. The water is turbulent.
I have been in areas where I've jet skied,
right,
and there are ocean liners like that, and they make massive wakes,
right,
because you jump the wakes. And for the kid to fall there, it's just a miracle.
I don't think you're supposed to jump those wakes.
Why?
With your jet ski?
Why?
Okay.
Well, you go back far enough because some of it's...
Okay, Mr. Daredevil.
Anywho.
Haley, Washington, D.C.
Hey, Haley. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the footage is just so miraculous. It really is one of those videos that just evokes such a feeling and emotion of hope in people. And I think that's why it's being such a sensationalized moment. People are really desperate for that good news on social media right now. And seeing the dad jump in the water, seeing that this child was able to be rescued and Disney acts so quickly. We're so used to seeing these events end in a different way that this was really an amazing moment and story to be able to share of survival.
Yeah, by the way, in this very one show today, we are going to see now a child who was rescued, and we're going to see a dog that's rescued later on.
Coming up, yeah.
There you go. Okay, we're going to move on.
All right, moving on to Taylor and Travis in the city, back in the Big Apple. They were in New York this weekend, went out for dinner, because they've been spending most of the time in Florida, but went back to, I guess New York is more like her stomping grounds than his. And, just a fun night out for them.
They're getting married.
You think they're getting married?
They're getting married. I mean, they're traveling back and forth. They're living together now.
Yeah, they're fully this
When you
whole
look
off
at this,
season. They
they're
have been living together.
Yeah. So
Doing everything together.
they test drove and they seem to. But when they're
So
they're gonna
far,
buy the car.
seems to be going well. Now there is one little hitch with one of her exes, who, as she was out this weekend having
Matty
a good
Healy.
time, Matty Healy decided he was going to throw a little shade at Taylor. He's playing over at the festival at Glastonbury, and this is what he had to say about his songwriting skills. And yes, you'll catch the reference to Taylor.
What this moment's make me realise is that I probably am the best. So I'm probably the best songwriter of my generation. The best, what do we say, a poet, ladies and gentlemen, is what I am. Generational wordsmith. And I just wanted to remind you.
The poet reference to the Tortured
Poets
Poets
Society.
Yeah, I
He's
think
just having
I think the
fun.
bigger thing there is the glass of Guinness in his hand.
I
which
love-
is
I love
probably
that he-
fueling a lot of the shade.
He's charming.
He's been making comments about her
Charming?
for like over a year now. It's starting to look really desperate. I think he's going to move on. And by the way, to go back to Taylor and Travis, I will be the first to admit that I don't think they will get engaged, but now I'm starting to wonder. They've been together for a long time. It's got to happen soon. How much longer can they date before he gets down and proposes? I mean,
I think it's happened. I mean, I have no basis for saying it other than rank speculation. But I think it's happened. I mean, they've been together for so long that, it's been 2 years now. I think this month. And so they're living together. I mean, at what point do they say, are we going to get married or are we not going to get married? I think they're engaged. I mean, and they don't have to announce it to the world, right? Right?
Hi, this is Brandon Wahlberg from Las Vegas, and I agree. Every time I see any Travis and Taylor headline, I think it's the announcement. You're right. July of 2 years ago was the friendship bracelet fiasco. So they're in their 30s. They're dating with intention. I just think if it didn't already happen, we're hearing about it anytime soon. And season is like late summer, early fall. So this is like that perfect window of time for the announcement preseason.
Oh, you know what? You're in Vegas, you said.
Yeah.
What if they decide, because everybody thinks it's going to be a Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos wedding. What if they just do it in Vegas? I mean, it's a thing now.
I would love that. And Vegas tourism would love that.
I got to say, it's a left turn for them. But
Yeah, I don't think they do a big show, not like that.
They get married in Vegas and then they have some party in Kansas City. Okay, that's my theory.
By the way, before the Swifties come first, Tortured Poets Department.
Oh, you said society, and I agreed. Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, the rescue that we told you about earlier, a dog named Louise that had been at a shelter for almost 2 years, and watch what happened when she found her forever home. This is amazing. When we come back, we're gonna have new video of Louise in her home and find out how it's going, but what a tearjerker moment.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Justin Timberlake made Portland kids' dream come true by joining a bike bus ride. And they always listen to Justin Timberlake.
Cry me a river when they fall. Yeah, right.
Well, this is what you're about to see, a very amazing visualization of something you have talked about for as long as I've known you, and is as an advocate for rescuing dogs. You always talk about how the animals know that they've been rescued. And the story
Never forget.
of Louise is an absolutely touching one that shows this. Louise was in the shelter for 640 days.
Like 2
Almost
years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And this weekend, she finally found her forever home. And the video the shelter posted, the shelter's called RG Cares, and they posted this video of the moment that Louise went home. And it was an absolute tearjerker.
Watch this.
Can we get all shelter staff to come to the front of the shelter? Our longest resident, Louise, of 640 days, is going home.
Now watch this. Louise turns at a point to kind of look back at the shelter, and it's just so sweet. I mean, this dog, the idea of just, oh God, just not having a home and having people walk by her, and now she has a home. And we got video of her in a new home.
And she is loving it. Loving it.
That's Louise at the new home. The owner was very private, didn't want to go on camera, but sent us video of Louise, and Louise just looks so happy. It's so heartwarming. She's playing in the backyard. I mean, she has a yard to play in. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
I just love this.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, she's so happy. I'm so happy.
Well, joining us now is Rachel Oldenburger from Four Legs Good. Rachel, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me.
So that must be amazing that, you think she's getting passed over, and all of a sudden, almost 2 years later, look at her now. I mean, she has a real life
Rachel,
and a home.
God, the way the whole staff came out like that was quite a moment.
Yeah, we never clap out dogs in that way, but for Louise, we had to. She came in as a stray at 2 years old, and she spent 2 full years at the shelter nearly, so half of her life was inside that concrete kennel, so we knew we had to give her a special send-off.
Why do you suppose she lingered there so long?
So Louise is what we call dog selective. So she is okay with some dogs, but not with others. And I think that's something that people kind of have to just kind of get used to. I mean, even as humans, there's some people that I like and some people I don't like, and I just don't get along with some people. And so unfortunately, some people are just looking for the perfect dog. And I think that's why Louise stayed there, because they were looking for a dog who just got along with everyone, and Louise, that just wasn't her. So we had to wait for that perfect app to come in. We wanted to place her in a home that had no other dog, just to give her the best chance for success. And when her adopters app came in, we just knew that was it.
It just occurs to me, if she didn't get along with other dogs so much, to be in a kennel where she's surrounded by other dogs must be tough.
Absolutely, yeah. She really did come a long way from the beginning. And like I said, she's dog selective, so there were some dogs that she could get along with. She pack walked with a lot of dogs that we knew she was okay with. But yeah, it's a very stressful environment in the shelter for a lot of these dogs, just even dogs that are dog friendly. It's a high stress environment. Yeah. But I can't imagine for a dog that is uncomfortable around other dogs, how overwhelming it can be there.
So Rachel, this is what I think makes Louise's story so important. I got to imagine that once you posted that video, that you've gotten such a response from people who are just moved by it and really understand what you've been saying all along, Harvey, that the animals know this, they know that they're being rescued, and I would hope that this has led to a lot more people reaching out to your shelter hoping to adopt dogs.
I think that look of gratitude that she gave, I mean, if you watch the video again, she looks up at the owner, she looks at him like, thank you. And then she turns back and is like, goodbye to everyone who took care of me. It's okay, I go, right? And that just said right there. I mean, we've had so many people message us saying like, I'm going to my local shelter and adopting a dog, or volunteering, or I'm going to go walk dogs, simply because I just was so touched by this video. So even if it just motivates one person to go to your local shelter and adopt a shelter dog, it's all worth it. This is my shelter dog, Murphy, also from where Louise is from, Rockland Green Cares Animal Shelter. So looking for homes.
You did so much good. You did so much good by sticking with this dog, because now people are really inspired. And that's what it's all about. So that's fantastic you did this.
Their day always comes. You just have to be patient and wait for the right person, you know?
Oh, that's the saying. Every dog has its day. Louise had her day.
Yep, she sure did. And she got to share it with the entire world.
Well, great work. Just great work, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. Oh, makes me so happy.
RG Cares Animal Shelter in Pomona, New York.
That makes me so happy.
Want to support them, that's where they are.
Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, a terrifying moment for Beyonce and Beyonce's fans as her suspended car ride over the crowd nearly ends in disaster. We'll show you what happened and how she handled it when we come back. Welcome back to TMZ Live. Boy, Beyonce's tour is now in Houston, in her hometown.
Oh, I didn't realize this was in Houston.
Yeah.
Oh.
So really not the place where you want this to happen.
Malfunction.
A serious malfunction, not just some silly wardrobe malfunction. This was one that was potentially very, very dangerous as she's floating around on this suspended car.
High above the crowd.
Yeah, and then it starts to tilt a little bit. Yeah, that's not part of the show. And Beyonce made it clear that it was not part of the show because she wanted something to be done immediately.
Stop. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Bring her down!
What's happening?
You hear the crowd all yelling, "Bring her down!"
Wow. I mean, look how high it is. I mean, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I would freak out if I were in that.
Now, she's in a harness,
I know,
so even if the car, it's clearly something is wrong. You gotta hand it to her.
Look at her.
How is she smiling?
I know,
keeping her
she looks
composure.
cool.
Like, this is taking The Show Must Go On just a little too far.
Holy smokes.
She's smiling, but you know she's going, boy, somebody's got some explaining to do.
Really, look at that. That's amazing. She is a cool cucumber.
Yeah.
Wow.
I suspect.
I didn't know that was Houston.
Yeah. This is.
Oh, well, look at the angle there. I mean, because you don't know if it's going to just keep going. And
also, obviously the fans were very concerned for her, but what about for themselves? Like,
right, the car could fall.
Like,
no, you're totally right.
I don't think it's not a real car, but
well, no, but it's not made of paper.
Right. Well, I don't think it is.
Woo.
Didn't look like it.
Hi, my name is Mateos. I was in the Houston concert a few nights ago.
Oh, wow.
And it started out super great. Like, we were so excited that she was coming our way. And I've been to too many Pink concerts to find anything strange about an artist flying over me. But then the car stopped, like, right above us. And we were like, wait, is this part of the concert? Like, it was tilting a little bit, but to me, she was just performing to the people on the other side. And then she stopped. And then that was when we were like, there's something happening here. And we got a little freaked out. But I'm just glad that she was okay. And she landed right in front of us.
Mateus.
Did you say your name was Mateus?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I just looked at the upper right of the screen. That's your video.
That's his video, yeah.
Yeah,
you figure out, you see the camera, he turned it on himself at one point.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So that's your video. Holy smokes. And the
She
crowd
was
was,
right above me.
I mean, at a point when you're looking up at this thing tilting, did people at all scatter? Because I wouldn't want to be over that car.
Underneath it, yeah.
People didn't scatter because we thought it was part of the concert. I mean, like, we see that so much right now, like Pink flies low everywhere, so we're like, well, this must be part of it. But then
when she said stop,
we just got stuck.
Yeah, when she said
that's
stop,
when we were
though.
like, get us out.
Wow. How was the concert?
It was amazing. She actually went back on stage and finished the song. Beautiful vocals, beautiful everything. Like, it was wonderful.
After that, was there any other suspended portions of the show where she was up above the crowd, or did she just keep her feet on the ground after that?
No, that was it. Like, she sang one more song. She finished the song that she was singing with 16 Carriages, and then she sang Amen. It was right at the end of the concert. No more flying. Yeah. And I heard that the concert that happened the night after didn't feature the flying car either.
Yeah, she's saying, you're not putting me up there anymore.
If I were, the car actually went down and it stayed there. If it took over seats, could those people get their money back?
I don't know, Derek. Why are you always trying to get a refund?
I'm not Derek, first of all. I'm just curious.
You sounded kind of Derek-y.
I did sound Derek-y. Okay, we're going to move on.
Yes, moving on now to the reaction from people in Diddy's world to the jury beginning deliberations and what they think is going to happen. So we got outside the court in New York, Lala. We've spoken to you about. We actually talked to Lala a few months ago when this case was starting out. Now, she, as one of Kim Porter's best friends, is the guardian of the twins. And she talked to us about the testimony. Remember, the kids weren't there for most of the graphic testimony.
I remember when she was on, because she was saying, I am trying to keep these kids as normal as we can. We don't talk about the case.
And so they weren't there for the graphic testimony. They were there, however, for the closing argument. So they certainly heard references to this. But this is what Lala had to say to us about Jane and Cassie's testimony in particular. And remember, she's been around both of them. This is what she had to say about their testimony.
Jane Doe I knew her before she knew Mr. Combs, and she really wanted this. She has caused a lot of ruckus in our lives in the past 3 years to where the kids didn't want her around. I feel like she is doing what she wanted to do to get what she wants.
What do you make of Cassie's tale from the witness stand?
I have had to deal with her for the whole time of the relationship because Kim, there's a picture of the three of them. Kim was still with him and she was 4 months pregnant with twins. So there's a lot of things that weren't told and didn't come out in that my friend went through and the hurt that she caused.
It sounds to me like this is someone who was a precipient witness to a lot of things that went on, Charles. As you mentioned, she seemed to be around. So why not get on the stand during Diddy's defense?
That's
if
what
she
I
has
was
all
thinking.
this pertinent information about Cassie lying or Jane lying, why not tell it to the jury? I always look with a very jaundiced eye at interviews like this.
I think they were calculating. It looks better if they call no witnesses. But she would have been a good witness for them.
She may have been good, or she may have been someone they didn't deem would be credible in front of a jury, so we don't know. It sounds like she had interesting things to say, but what's the help of it to Diddy in this context?
Well, she also said in that interview that, Diddy did some bad things and has a lot to work on, but she also said that Cassie and Jane did some bad things too, back to Diddy. So it wasn't all positive toward Diddy.
But it sounded like the testimony was mostly helpful, and I just wonder why the defense team didn't think she belonged on the stand.
Hey, you guys, this is Lady C from Baltimore. I am very curious as to why she didn't take the stand. This testimony would have been great during the actual trial. We heard so much testimony from Cassie and all these other people. We heard the word freak-offs about 1 million times, but this testimony would have been great to include. And, hopefully we get a deliberation or some kind of verdict soon, or maybe even a pardon from Trump. I don't know. I'm curious to see where this trial actually goes.
Hey, that's not the craziest thing to
That pardon is
said.
not a crazy thing at all.
Okay, we are going to take a break.
All right, when we come back, SeaWorld, like you've never seen it before.
Turned up.
Oh, boy, I wish you hadn't said that, but that's accurate when the Yin Yang twins are performing there. SeaWorld clearly making a comeback, at least for the summer.
Did not know this.
Look, this SeaWorld has been a little troubled over the years just because of all the backlash against orcas there.
And I didn't think people were coming in droves, but they apparently
still
are.
open in San Diego, and they've got a plan this summer where they've got a concert series going on, and I've never, ever seen SeaWorld look like this. This weekend, down in San Diego, they had the Yin Yang twins there, and, they performed their biggest hit, and boy, did the crowd react.
What's so funny is they didn't clean it up.
No, they did not do a radio edit. They played the full version, and
that's hysterical.
And it is a very diverse crowd. I don't know how this concert series is going.
Well,
I don't know if SeaWorld was ready for this.
SeaWorld loves this because it's putting butts in seats.
Right.
And
people are actually
And they've got a whole concert series planned for the whole summer.
Yeah, the whole concert seems like kind of lit. I actually might get a ticket because some of the upcoming performances are legit. Like Soulja Boy and Bow Wow are coming up. You've got Fat Joe, Waka Flocka, Petey Pablo. Like, who am I? Like, these seem like pretty lit. And then again, when I saw the video, I couldn't help but just think, one, where are the kids? Like, because these parents are turning
these
up.
are all
This is clearly like a millennial moment, but where are the kids at?
These are just parents. Well, actually, there's a couple of kids in there who are probably like,
look at that little kid.
Yeah, that little kid has no idea what the adults are singing about.
It's hysterical, and it's packed. It is just packed.
I mean, the Yin Yang Twins have always been known to get the crowd going, to get the stuff crunk. So I feel like if you were at SeaWorld and you hear them shaking like a salt shaker, there's no way you're going to be able to just sit down and like look around like, oh my gosh. No, you're just going to get up and you're going to shake it like a salt shaker.
And you know the way dolphins shimmy in the air?
Well, they do the little dance.
They're kind of twerk. They should have the dolphins twerking.
Yeah, but then if you train the dolphins,
then it's a problem.
Exactly. Then it'll be like.
Then you got a whole problem again.
Look at this foul language you're exposing the dolphins to. Peter would be upset, and understandably.
Johnny Benitez, Brooklyn, New York. First of all, this looks absolutely insane. Why are there so many curses going on? And even the demographic, you see all these adults here. It's like SeaWorld. We're expecting to see a bunch of kids, not this show with the explicit lyrics, but it's absolutely crazy what's going on. And it was definitely a sight to see.
Okay, every weekend we put polls up on the website. We want to see how you feel about things that we posted during the past week. We did it this weekend. Here are the results.
Yes.
Oh, I want to know this.
The aforementioned Bezos-Sanchez wedding, beautiful or garish and out of touch? I don't even have to look. It's probably 90%. I'm going to say
You're
garish.
close.
84%.
You were close.
Yeah.
Okay, Trump's claim Newsom's a liar. You know, there's a lawsuit now.
Yeah.
Trump's a truth teller or the liar is Donald? I think they're going to say he's a true. No, they're going to say the liar's Donald by 2-1.
Yeah. And by the way, half the people who said that probably voted for him anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay. Closing arguments are over. So the jury will convict, jury will acquit, or hung jury.
We now have kind of an idea here.
But which way they were leaning convict? I mean, that's been.
But 25%.
The court of public opinion.
A quarter of people think it's going to be hung jury. That's interesting given what happened today.
Right.
Okay, next. Aaron Rodgers angry at media over wife's privacy. He has every right to be mad, or it's ridiculous he's famous for high publicized relationships. I think they're going for the latter. And they did.
Yeah.
And they did.
All right.
Next one.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see Golden. Well, listen. This is because you're watching Love Island now, so automatically you want to see Golden Love Island?
I just wrote it. I wanted to see what people thought.
Awesome or ick?
I think they're going to.
They're going to go ick.
My God. Oh, my God.
That was more lopsided than the Sanchez.
That hurt.
So sweaty.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take a break.
All right. When we come back, Lizzo drops a new mixtape with a new sound this weekend, and we got her out explaining who her inspiration was for this change.
Where can you see huge stars in Hollywood? No, not the planetarium, that's for nerds. We mean the TMZ Celebrity Tour, where we've seen huge stars like Kevin Hart, Rihanna, Ben Affleck, The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Lizzo, Lady Gaga, Ryan Seacrest, and Jamie Foxx. You'll learn the secrets of the city and see Hollywood as only TMZ can show you. Buses depart daily from the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, so head to TMZTour.com and book your tickets for the TMZ Celebrity Tour.
Little surprise from Lizzo this weekend. She dropped a mixtape, new music, but it's all rap. It's all rap. Yeah, she's trying her hand as a rapper. She's done a little bit of it before, but this is the entire mixtape is all rap. We got her out leaving Craig's after a celebratory dinner,
and then she talked about her two inspirations for the mixtape.
Lizzo, we calling you Lizzie this summer?
You gonna call me Lizzie?
We calling you Lizzie. I wanted to ask you, what inspired the mixtape?
Oh my gosh. Houston.
Houston? I know you said Lil Wayne inspired you.
Oh, yeah,
you channel Lil Wayne.
It's a Lizzo Wayne summer.
What song do you think Lil Wayne would be best on your mixtape?
Bend It Over.
Bend It Over. Are you gonna get him on the remix?
Listen. That's my goat.
What about Missy Elliott? You said you channel her too. What song would you see her on?
Oh my God, she could be on any song she wants.
Okay.
All right, y'all. I'll see you at the club.
She wasn't talking to you.
No, but she went.
The club.
She went to. I forgot the name of it now. She went to a club in La Cienega. Afterward. Poppy.
She went to Poppy.
I knew it started with a P.
Yeah.
I knew it started with a P. So she went to Poppy, and
I'm sure they played her music when went in there. It's good promotion, right? How's she do? Eric, have you heard how are her rapping skills?
I mean, she can rap. She could always rap. And she's got some high-profile guests. Like, she'd love to have Lil Wayne and Missy Elliott. The ones she actually got on the mixtape are Doja Cat and SZA, so that's not too bad. I think having Lil Wayne do a verse on her song would be great, and Missy Elliott too. But I think even cooler would be if Missy didn't rap on her songs, but produced a whole album for Lizzo.
Oh, wow.
Because I can only imagine what that would sound like. And, 2000s nostalgia is in, so I think people would be definitely in to check that out.
Hello, my name is Honor, and I am in Washington, D.C. Lizzo says she is outside this summer, and she's trying to bring everybody with her. A Missy Elliott and Lizzo song would be iconic. I can already see all the TikTok choreography.
All right, Harvey had to step away for a second, but what else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, I'm Ethan from New Orleans. I think Diddy's going to be found guilty. Deliberations are currently underway, but the fact that there were 0 witnesses called in his defense makes it seem very obvious that the jury's going to come back and find him guilty on all counts.
Well, we will see how the jury reads that. That was kind of a risky, I thought at the time, kind of a risky approach that they did not call even a single witness. But we will find out, I think, maybe sooner than we thought. All right, one more.
Hi there, my name is Eric Meyer. I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. And I can't believe the amount of celebrities that were at Jeff Bezos' wedding. Like, where did all these connections come from? Sydney Sweeney? It's like you've seen Kim Kardashian right there. It's just like, where did this guy get all of those? It's ridiculous, but I mean, it just shows you the scale and the magnitude of like how big of a not only a just business tycoon he is, but just how many connections that he has in his network.
Yeah.
So really insane to see.
I think it's a combination of his wealth, and Lauren was already in that celebrity world. So you put those two things together, and that's how you end up with that guest list. All right, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, Dua Lipa on vacation with Callum Turner, and boy, they are still celebrating that engagement with some heavy PDA. Well, Dua Lipa and Callum Turner, fresh off their engagement, enjoying a little vacation over in Italy on the Amalfi Coast.
You had a room.
Yeah.
Are they on Love Island or something?
They're not even in the honeymoon stage yet. And they're already not afraid to do a little PDA out on a little floating dock.
That's really cool.
There's probably a giant yacht connected to that little raft.
Do you think people are more romantic because of Love Island now?
I can't believe how much you are investing.
Can I tell you what?
Into this show.
Can I tell you where my head is? I'm watching and I'm thinking, how come they're not getting mono or something like this? No, I'm constantly like asking, what is it?
Mono?
Yes. I mean, they are just sucking face like randomly and crazy. And it's like, why aren't they? I don't know. Somebody answer that for me, okay?
Mono.
Mono. See you tomorrow.
Bye.